back. Now, have you been counted in the 2022 census? In a Snap Twitter poll this morning, 60% of those who answered said they have not been counted yet. I haven't been counted yet. Gareth hasn't been counted yet. He was narrating earlier on that he did see, of course, the officials or representatives on his street, but they didn't make it to his home. So what are your personal experiences? Perhaps you can tweet us as well. But now I'm joined by Statistician General Risenga Maluleke to give us an update on how far they are on getting everyone counted in the country. Mr. Maluleke, thank you so much for your time and good morning to you. How is it going so far, the counting that is, and some of the, difficulties or challenges that you have encountered so far?
Greetings to Melo, and let me greet the viewers and indicate that it wouldn't be called a census if it was not difficult. In all previous censuses, we have had our own share of challenges, particularly in this census. We had wanted to enumerate members of the public through an electronic remote system, which we have publicized through different media houses, including this media house, eNCA. But out of about 17.4 million, we only had about a million households. We only had about 455,000 households that registered. So we decided to deploy our field staff. And in deploying our field staff, obviously there were challenges. Amongst other challenges is vehicles. During COVID-19, at the height of COVID-19 and the lockdown, vehicle hiring companies sold their stock. So we have taken every vehicle you can talk of from any other hiring house for purposes of our supervisory staff to be able to reach out to every field worker. We still have challenges in terms of access, especially in gated communities. We have an agreement, a memorandum of understanding with associations that manage gated communities, but it is still proving to be difficult, especially in the provinces of Gauteng and the Western Cape. And indeed, in other provinces where we have already deployed our staff members, our field staff members, rural provinces, we seem to be having lesser challenges. Actually, in Limpopo, we are moving a lot more faster. In the Free State, we are moving a lot more faster. We have a share of gated communities in KwaZulu-Natal, in Pietermaritzburg, and in eThekwini. However, we are actually, we have turned the corner in KwaZulu-Natal as well.
Right.
So if you ask me, we still have challenges, gated communities. We still have challenges with our traditional hard-to-reach areas, people who are not as locals, who feel and being targeted in their neighborhoods and think we want to report them to our authorities.
All right, Mr. Maluleke, you're speaking more about the in-person contact, right? But I also know that you have a web-based platform where one can be counted there as well. How have you been handling the response, the volume of responses on the platform?
Firstly, let me mention at the beginning there were challenges with the volume of responses, but we have been able to talk to the service providers and have been able to extend our bandwidth. But our biggest problem now is that we don't want to have a parallel process. So those who could not complete their online forms on their own by the beginning of March, or let me say end of February the 25th, because initially we were supposed to end online self-enumeration on the 5th of February. Then we moved it to mid-February. We moved it to the 25th of February. Only 25% have returned the forms. So we realized that if we wait for them, there will be more risks. Rather, we deploy our field staff members. So they will be enumerated by our field staff members, albeit the fact that they are difficult to reach because the numbers were just coming in drips and drabs. And we are headed to the 20th of March. And let me also add to Melo that if we come to the 20th of March and we realize that we haven't counted everyone, especially in some provinces or some districts, I will not hesitate as Statistician General to make sure that I extend, because we have a responsibility to count everyone within the borders of South Africa.
All right, Mr. Maluleke, but I know that even with your responsibility, you're still making a call to South Africans to take the onus on themselves as well and be counted to make your job easy. But we'll be having a conversation with you should, of course, that extension be implemented. The 20th of March, I understand, according to the statement, that is now where both personal and telephone interviewing will run concurrently until the 20th of March. However, as you've heard there from Mr. Maluleke saying that if not everyone is counted, he'll not hesitate to further extend that date. That's the very latest about the census coming from Risenga Maluleke. We'll leave it at that. More to